Hey, hello, welcome to another webinar from The Training Show. I'm Mike Thomas, and for those of you that don't know, those of you that haven't been with us this week, The Training Show is the show for training professionals by training professionals. And in addition to the show, there's a website full of tips and tricks. There's the live sessions like this one, and there's in-depth webinars as well. Earlier this year, I delivered a webinar called Inbox Zero Becoming an Email Ninja. And in it, I looked at the subject of email management. So today I'm going to cover one of the key areas, which is the 4Ds. I'll explain exactly what the 4Ds are shortly. Now, email management is a hot topic. I did a Google search, and there are literally thousands and thousands of pages out there, all dedicated to email management. Many people admit that they are drowning in a sea of email. I was once upon a time, but I put a number of measures in place to help me get out of that state, and that's what I'm going to talk about. One reason I think that people tend to keep emails is for the record, both incoming emails and sent emails. And what I always tell people is your mailbox is not an archive. Don't keep emails just for the sake of it. Now, I know that some people, particularly in the corporate world, have to keep emails for legal reasons. Where I work, we have a retention policy. Certain emails have to be kept for a number of years. And other people seem to think that every email they get and every email they send, they have to keep. Somebody once said to me, they couldn't get into their Outlook, and she said, it's my life's work in there. There's 10 years worth of emails, and I don't know how I managed to stop myself laughing at that one, because your emails are not your life's work. When it comes down to it, all an email is a way of getting information to you and getting requests for action to you. It's no different to a voicemail, a text message, pieces of paper stuck to your monitor, and notes left on your desk. You know, if people send me a voicemail, I'll listen to that voicemail, I'll act on it, I might even write down what's required, but I certainly won't keep it. I tend to delete it straight away. And I certainly don't keep those little post-it notes that are stuck to my monitor asking me to do something, and notes left on my desk asking me to call somebody. So I don't know why people treat email differently, but they just do. Also, another thing that I see is people keeping emails as a reminder to do something. Now, these aren't your old emails. These are emails that have come in. It could be that your boss asks you to read a presentation they've built and add some comments to it. Or it could be that somebody just wants you to send them your date of birth so that they can add you to their system. The problem is, if you don't act on those mails straight away, and I'm not saying you should do, but as more and more mails come into your inbox, those mails that you've left there as reminders just move down the list, and at some point they'll disappear out of view, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. So every time you go and look in your inbox for new mails, if those mails are still visible, then you're reminded about those things that you haven't yet done. So I always say, get those emails out of your inbox. Do something with them. You don't have to act on them straight away, but get them out of your inbox so that they are not in your face every time you are going to your inbox to check for new mails. In fact, Merlin Mann, who's a productivity guru, and he founded inboxzero.com, he said it's how much of your brain is in your inbox is what Inbox Zero is. He wasn't referring to how many mails are in your inbox. He was referring to how much of your brain is in your inbox. And that's the point that I've just made, that you go to your inbox and really your inbox should just be a collection bucket. It's a place where new emails are stored until you choose to deal with them. And if you keep going back to your inbox to check for new mails and the old mails are there, then your brain, your mind is going to be going off to those older emails. I'm sure you understand what I mean. I'm sure that's something that that you maybe do. The key to dealing with email is getting to an empty inbox, and that is done through processing. Processing doesn't actually mean doing all the actions requested in the emails, although there are exceptions to that. It means going through each email and deciding what to do. So if you got an email that from your boss that said, can you please read this presentation and give me some feedback, you may not have half an hour to actually do that, or an hour. So you need to decide what to do with that email, and it will probably be, I'm going to put that on one side and do it tomorrow morning. So you go through each email, decide what you're going to do, and that is where the 4Ds come in. How often you process your mail and how long it takes is really up to you. I think it depends on how much mail you get and how busy you are. If you're like me, if you're running a training courses all day, then you're probably not going to have that much time during the working day to process your mail. So you might have to leave some over till the next day. When I go back to work on Monday after a week's leave, then I will have a number of emails to deal with, but I'm not going to sit down for 2 hours and actually do all the actions that I've been asked to do. I'm going to quickly go through each email and decide what to do with it, and that is the key. That is processing. It might take me 20 minutes, it might take me an hour, depends how many mails I get. So for each email you need to select one of 4 actions, and there's only a finite number of things that you can do with each email. And that's why there's 4 actions. The fact that emails are sitting in your inbox indicates that you haven't decided which of those magic 4 actions are appropriate for that particular item. So what I tend to do is I tend to start at the top of my list. I don't particularly look at the list of emails and say, right, I'm going to deal with that one first because that's from my boss. Because just because it's from your boss doesn't particularly mean it's urgent and requires immediate attention. There could be something more important. It could just be from your boss to say, I'm going to be on leave next week. So you start with the first email and you say to yourself, okay, what do I need to do with this one, or what can I do with it? Can I delete this email? Does it need any further action taking? It could just be from somebody saying thank you, or it could be an FYI, which once you've read it just needs no further action, in which case you can simply read it and then delete it. A lot of people will say, I don't want to delete my emails because you never know when you might need them. But if you put some kind of archiving or backup system into place, that means that you can delete the email and you're not going to have to worry if you need it again because you'll have it archived. If you're using Gmail, for example, you could set it up so it automatically forwards every incoming email to another account, and then you've got a backup. If you're using something like Outlook, as I do at work, then you could set up a rule which automatically forwards the mail onto a PST, which is a backup file. So when you look at the mail, first mail, do I want to delete it? Yes. Don't worry, because it's going to be in an archive. If you're unable to delete the mail that you're currently processing, can you forward it on to somebody else to deal with? The second D is delegate. It could be that somebody else is better qualified to deal with the mail, or it might be that you just don't have the time right now. What I always tell people is if you do forward it on to somebody else, it's good manners to advise the original sender so that they are aware that you've passed it on to somebody else, and that way they're not chasing you, they can chase up with the person you've passed it on to. If you can't delete the mail and you can't pass it on to somebody else, then what action is required to be able to close off the mail? If you can do what's being asked of you in 2 minutes or less, then do it. There is a 2-minute rule. You don't have to time it to bang on 2 minutes. But if, let's say, for example, somebody asks you for your date of birth so they can add you to their database, just reply to the mail. Call them, leave them a voicemail if necessary, send them an instant message, send a reply, and once you've done that, you can delete the mail, because remember, the mail is not your life's work. It's just somebody requesting some information from you. It's an electronic version of that piece of paper left on your desk or the sticky notes left on your monitor. And if you can't delete the mail, if you can't do the task in 2 minutes, if you can't pass it on to someone else, then apply the 4th D, which is defer. And that simply means turn the email into an actionable task or a set of tasks, which can be added to your task list or your calendar for actioning at a later date. So it could be a paper-based system, it could be OmniFocus or Things if you use the Mac or an iOS device, it could be Outlook, it could be one of a number of different calendaring or task systems. So those are the 4 Ds of email management. And if you follow those rules, not only will you reclaim your mailbox, but you'll reclaim your sanity too. And that brings us to the end of our 5-day Going Live series. This week we've delivered 5 short webinars covering Evernote, Dropbox, Screen Capture, iTunes U, and today the 4 Ds of email management. If you want the reference materials from today and all the other events from this week, then they're available in our 5-part course, which also includes as a bonus the entire course in PDF format, 53 pages of time-saving tips. All you need to do to get them is to sign up to the Training Show newsletter at thetrainingshow.com/newsletter. If you sign up, you'll also get lots more tips as well as information about our webinars. As I said earlier, the Training Show is more than just webinars. It's a show and it's available in iTunes. So go to iTunes, you'll find us on there. Please subscribe, give it a listen and leave us a review. We'd love to hear your comments and read your comments. So thank you for attending, thanks for your support, and we hope that you can join us again.